She in my presence, blind with pride, just live the dream. Made to believe that deviation from her plan would lead to the devastation of a nation. No one around me. How can this be? Actions opposite of what she preach. Tells me be free. Then she goes short is on my leash, and I overlook it. Can't believe that she's crooked. Look at everything she done. Plenty blessings I took them. Just the thought of it gives me sugar. Love across me, she wouldn't. Couldn't fathom the plots and plans against a man when she cooked. Come on, put it. Know I love you and it's grown since birth. Elementary, learn your pledge. Taught me why you came first. Blood, sweat, and tears drop in the bucket. So much more you're worth. No, you never do me harm, and I'm defending you to dirt. So
send me to my grave.
Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, baby, yeah.
Send me to my grave.
What? Big bitch gon' be the death of me.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I said yeah. Oh.
What's going on, everybody? How are you? I'm Manny.
And it's with a organization called TBX, TBX Racing.
Yeah?
This year, and they're gonna have their training session with N2, because N2 is kind of sponsoring them, because N2 is part of that relay race.
And when is that event?
I'm not sure which race they decided to compete in. I can't remember the date, but they're gonna be training July 10th and 11th at Pitt. So I'm gonna work on learning how to catch them, like how do you receive the rider and how do you send them out.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be like unbelievable. I'm so excited because I think I know two riders. Their name is Tim and Greg.
Yeah.
And these guys, when I started actually riding track, I saw these two guys on the track like moving, and I'm like, yo, they so fast. Like I wanna like try to keep up with them. And I was following them through the turns and stuff, and I really could not keep up as hard as I tried. So when we came out, I tried to go to their pit area. So when I went to the pit area, I see that some guy
is taking him off,
like helping him get off the motorcycle. I'm like, what the hell? And then I see him sit down on a wheelchair, and I'm like, no. Oh hell no. So when I asked him, I was like, I was a hothead as a kid and like stupid and just like no regard. I go up to him, I'm like, yo, what the hell? How you so freaking fast? He's like, yo, I'm on the line. Like, I try to stay online and do everything a specific way. So I told him, I was like, yo, you mind coming out with me next session? He's like, pit right here. And yo, they took me under their wing. Since that day, we always been mad close.
So is he also gonna be at the?
Yeah, he's
event?
one of the racers.
Okay.
Coincidentally, this is something. I met a guy on Instagram from the UK.
Yeah. Well, those
From
are our
the
people.
UK.
Those are our people.
Those are for real. Those are
our people.
Those are. I think they're more passionate about motorcycles than even us here. So this guy hits me up. He's handicapped on a wheelchair, but he could kind of like walk too with his crutches. And he rides to work and everything. And he's like, yo, I really like your story that I have about my first track day and how honest it was. And he was like, I was really taken by it, and I decided to reach out to you. I'm like, I'm honored, man, and I see that what's going on with you, and I'm like, yo, I'm honored that you giving me that type of love because I really admire what you're doing, because a lot of times we think it's the end. If you lose your legs, it's over. Mm-hmm. Life is over. And this guy is out here ripping on a motorcycle at the track.
It's more like he inspired you than you inspire him. So
I think he's doing more for me and the culture than anybody, because it lets us know that no matter what happens, we can't give up. Like I was ready to give up the other day, because
Yeah.
I high-sided. And I, kind of lost consciousness. And I was ready to quit. I'm like, yo, hell no. When I got people on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, riding with me every day, and I'm always telling them you can't quit. So
Yeah.
it's like I had to make sure that I went back to it and stay in contact with him. And he put me on with a guy named Michael Petrosini,
Okay.
who is the owner of TBX, which is the bike experience. And they raise money for paraplegics and people so they can ride and enjoy motorcycles for
That's
therapy
awesome.
and everything. So it's a small world because Greg and Tim was part of that. And here we are, going to pit July 10th and 11th to help them for racing. Like, hopefully it blows up.
So anybody could show up there as a spectator?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah?
Yeah, anybody can show. It's an N2 track day that day.
Well, send me the information. I'm going to go.
No, that
Yeah,
would be
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
And hell yeah, that would be great for you to catch and actually interview those
Yeah,
guys. Because they're amazing. What they're doing is unbelievable. And I think
that's a great idea.
you need to put it out there in the world so you two can see, like, yo, I'm inspired by them every day to keep pushing, keep getting better.
Yeah, because a lot of people put excuses on not wanting to go on a ride, and you see these guys that lose their legs and they're still doing it.
Yeah. I mean, in life, period, right? Like, we just went through this pandemic, and a lot of people are struggling and struggling to just kind of recuperate themselves because they're so down where how they're doing financially or how they're doing just physically. A lot of us put on weight. A lot of us lost people. And the message I get from them is you can't give up. Like, do what you love. Do what you're passionate about. Whether it's riding a motorcycle, playing basketball, going to the gym. Like, don't limit yourself because nothing can limit you. God doesn't make limits for anybody or anything.
So these guys have special motorcycles, right?
Yeah, they are special.
It's not used with this.
No, they don't have
The gear?
they don't have the gears or the rear brake. Everything's in their
The
hands.
hands? Yeah.
I'm dying to see. I haven't really paid attention to how it's set up. And the cool thing is some of them have wheels that come down.
Oh, they just come down?
They come down. Yo, it's
Oh.
crazy. They come down so it doesn't tip over. So they press a button and the wheels come down.
That's
Yo,
awesome.
crazy.
What was the event again?
So the event's gonna be July 10th and 11th. It's with N2 at Pit Race. It's a regular track day, but they're choosing that day to go and start training. And I'm gonna be working with them that day, so it'd be amazing if you come down and we get
I'm definitely going to be down there.
introduce you to them and get you
Yeah.
out there to really.
Yeah, I'll definitely be down there. I'll be following you around.
For sure, for
Yeah,
sure. Let's do
following you
it.
around.
I'll send you my whole schedule.
yeah.
We'll be a little team out there.
Yeah. Well, guys, this is Trackstar. Follow him on Instagram. He'll be out in July 10th and 11th, right?
Yeah.
10th and 11th down in Pitts. If you guys have nothing to do, go ahead and come down and support the cause.
What's going on, everybody? How are you? I'm Manny with Riders Academy. We're here at New York Safety Track. Special things happening with certified knee draggers. Rookie events happening. We're here to try to cater to new riders, street riders, people that have been curious about the racetrack and haven't been really sure of how a track day goes. Riders with certified knee draggers help these new riders become environment here at Safety Track to ensure that you understand how it differs from the street to a track day safely. We're here to help you feel comfortable with new people around you, a family environment within the paddock. We want to make sure that new riders come and understand how to stay safe. We want to try to help this sport grow. We want you to come with friends, family. We want everybody to enjoy themselves safely. As a newcomer to the track, I know there's a lot of in-between questions that are unanswered. It's difficult to answer them without actually coming to the track. Small things as far as, where do I park my car? Where do I pit my bike? You know, where do I register? How do I get in on and off track and everything? You're gonna find a smiling face that's gonna help you find somewhere to set up your pit. Gonna hold your hand a little bit through these little footsteps to get you to the registration. You know, if you have questions about gear, we're gonna have guys that rent some gear out to you. You know, Carlos with the certified knee draggers, he has the nice air vest for sale. We're gonna make sure that you have all the small things covered so that you are able to enjoy your day out here on the track and, you know, go home safely at the end of the day. Tire pressures, lean angle, body position, you know, throttle application, brake application. Riders Academy is gonna take care of all of this with you, along with knee draggers. Please reach out to us and we're happy to help. I'm here to answer all your track questions. So please reach out, sign up with knee draggers, sign up with Riders Academy. We're here for your riding and track needs. Check us out.
Send me to my grave.
Let me tell you about this little lady in my life.
Send me
I guess
to
you could
my
call it a free
grave.
range.
Be safe and be well.
What's going on, everybody? How are you? I'm Manny with Riders Academy.
Yo, what's up, everybody? I'm gymkhanajosh, and welcome to Beyond the Apex, where we talk motorcycle everything and then some. Tonight, I have a always special guest, but he's not new to the show. He's a familiar face. He was actually on the show maybe about a month ago, maybe a month and a half, almost 2 months ago, when I did the like motorcycle car guy crossover and whatnot. My boy Preston, he's got a lot to talk about. We've had some things we've been working on lately, so I definitely want to bring that out, talk about it, maybe put out some teasers and some spoilers and whatnot for that. Just this past weekend, Sunday, I stopped by the Certified Knee Draggers event at the New York Safety Track. It was nuts. It was absolutely nuts. There were so many people out there. There were so many smiling faces, so much fun being had. It was crazy. Anybody that was out there could testify. I'm sure you'll get on Instagram. You'll see all the pictures, all the posts, all the videos and whatnot. But before we get to that, or before I talk about that again, let me bring in my very special guest, my boy Preston. Preston, over here. What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
I am well. How are you? I am special indeed, because it takes me to set up on this thing.
Yeah, last minute adjustments. You know, we had to start a little bit late. I ran a couple little commercial intros before you jumped on, but
Ooh,
I think we're good.
nice, solid. Yeah, I'm excited, man. Glad to finally be invited back on the show. I definitely never coming back.
It wasn't that you were never
How
coming
wild
back.
I got the last one.
Say again?
I said I thought I was definitely never coming back because of how wild I got on the last one.
Yeah, right. Super wild. You know, he took off his shirt. He was like dancing around, doing all some crazy stuff. You know, but I mean, it's good for views. You know what I'm saying?
That's what they
if y'all didn't see
say.
that episode, then you need to just like rewatch all the old Beyond the Apex episodes, and you might see
Yeah.
Preston getting wild.
Yeah. scroll through.
So tonight,
But what else is going on, man? What are we doing?
so tonight, I just want to kind of BS with you, man. Honestly, like we've been working on some things. You know, we've been putting in some work offline, not live.
Yeah.
We've been doing some things, and we've been contributing stuff that I need to work on for the new channel. I kind of wanted to bring that out into the
Sure.
open and talk about that a little bit. For those of you at home that are maybe tuning in first, second, third, fourth, fifth time, whatever, maybe you don't know, but Beyond the Apex is kind of like moving from my personal gymkhanajosh channel to its own channel. It's going to have its own platform, its own thing. We have other contributors like Chachi and Kristen and Bills and Preston, and Butter is always going to come back and do his thing. So I just wanted tonight to kind of talk about that to begin with, right off the bat. And we got some other things we got to talk about too. But what we're doing offline, actually, yeah, explain to the people at home kind of what we've been working on.
So, we've been working on is just a show basically talking about everything, everything and everything. I mean, motorsports stuff. We talk about car stuff. We talk about bike stuff. Obviously, we talk about life, how life intermingles between the two of them, how things can get in the way of each other, how to balance things out, and how to kind of keep our heads in this wild world that we live in, and community as well. I think it's really interesting. I think it's fun because no matter where you are in your bike riding skills level, whether you are with your car driving, if you're into either one of those things, you'll always find something relatable when we talk. So I think it's really cool. I think it's going to be very eye-opening and relatable to really anyone who's going to come across the channel, man.
Not only relatable, but I feel like a lot of the topics maybe we talk about or we have talked about thus far are stuff that maybe people want to know about or don't realize that they need to know about. You know,
Sure, yeah.
what was it? We just recently we were talking about like bike and motorsport therapy. You know, and it's like something that people think about. They maybe deal with on a daily basis. They feel it, they know it, but they don't actually like know how to put words behind it or actually like hear people talk about it. And I think that's something that it should be out there. It should be something we talk about.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree.
So
and it's definitely something that I think is going to be unique about the show for sure because I don't know. I feel like a lot of maybe these are things as well that are on people's minds, but maybe they don't talk about them because either they didn't know how or whatever the reason is. But we're kind of trying to bridge that gap or give the opportunity to get feedback too from viewers to see what they think about how they feel about things as well.
On top of that, we just BSing. We just sitting around chopping it up. By the way, the name of the new show on the new channel is called The Chop Shop. So we be sitting around chopping it up.
Chop Shop.
And
sick, and we chop it up and we see what comes up afterwards, man. We mix it up together, make our little omelet, and get it together. We really don't.
We'll start
no,
with
that is the whole topic.
Aliens and Hitler and some other things. By the time the conversation has ended, we talked about everything.
That's true. Yeah, it doesn't stop.
Yo,
Nothing's off the table.
From DJ Kafaro says, come through to the On Twos private track days, June 29th and 30th, 125 a day. Spots still open. Thank you for throwing that out there in the chat. We appreciate that. Any events
nice
that going on, please throw them in the chat.
Solid.
Yeah. But
yeah, man. Also, dude, tell me about this photography thing you got going on at the New York safety track. I mean, I know you're one of the most talented photographers that I know personally, and
you must not know a lot of photographers.
We don't need to talk about quantity at all, okay? We don't need to talk about quantity. Don't worry about my body count with the photographers, all right?
Yo, it's a great experience.
Just tell the people about the experience, and they can find some pictures of that too. I've been trying to find them, and obviously they're on your memory cards, so I can't find any yet.
It's a great experience. As we kind of like we touched on a little bit the other day. Actually, we got more deep into like the lenses and the technical aspects of the cameras and whatnot. But you know, honestly, like going out to the certified events and going out to the track and like trying to photograph moving objects and get video of like motorcycle action is really difficult. It's actually really something pretty hard to do unless people are just like posted up, let's say in a parking lot or doing whatever. So I kind of expanded my repertoire. I expanded my horizons this past weekend, just in the little short period of time that I was there at that certified event. I wasn't there for the whole weekend. I didn't ride. I wasn't there for both days. It was a Sunday, Monday event. I was just there for a little while on Sunday, but even for that little short period of time, I was like busting through lenses and like telling Chachi to like go over there, do this, and let me change out this filter, let me change out this lens, let me do all these different things. It really expanded my capabilities just being out there and practicing and like getting to experience something new and different, or trying something new and different. So
Yeah, speaking of trying something new, man, I really want to get into that Movo dual mic.
Yes, that was great. So anybody that watched the show tonight that tuned in early, before the show actually started, I played a clip of Chachi sitting down with my boy Jose, also known as Track Stars on Instagram. By the way, everybody needs to go follow Track Stars. He does some really great stuff. He's involved in some crazy events, great events, awesome rider, awesome personality. Follow him at tracks underscore stars with a Z. Go follow him. But I captured just a little snippet of them sitting down talking about this event that he was going to be participating in July, and I used for the first time really this wireless headset microphone thing. That is an amazing tool, honestly. Like I didn't have to worry about the DJ. I didn't have to worry about the motorcycle noise. I didn't have to worry about anything else that was going on because everything they were talking about was just like right there in this little like microphone right in front of their face, and it sounded crisp. You heard it. It sounded like crisp. It sounded
I did.
clear. Maybe it's not like, you know, audio engineer level, but it sounded really good as far as like sitting at a track, you know.
I definitely think it sounded good, and especially when you were talking about how close that DJ booth was,
It was
and
like,
how you can hear them trying to talk loud
yeah,
to each other,
yeah.
and right next to each other, and then the microphone was like just hearing them screaming only. There was nothing else.
Well, I mean, like when you're that close, whether it be a DJ booth or the motorcycles or whatever else is going around you, which there's a lot of stuff going on around you. You know, a lot of times
Yeah,
when you have a camera and it's got even like little fuzzy, you know, and you got a boom microphone, it's pointed at somebody. It captures the right audio, but you get a lot of background noise. And with these,
yeah,
I don't really. It's not a lavalier. It wasn't one that you clip on your shirt or whatever. But just
yeah. It was over the head.
and just having that microphone right there, it eliminated a lot of pretty much all the background noise, and just captured them talking, and then it was an amazing thing. By the way, so just to reiterate, not to reiterate, but to talk about what they were talking about, if you didn't catch it, Track Stars is going to an event July 10th and 11th where like paraplegics and other disabled riders are going to train for an official race day. So these guys have, like, let's say no use of their legs. They have custom built motorcycles to race on a motorcycle, all with hand controls. And he's going out there 10th and 11th. Chachi will probably go too. And he was just talking about how amazing it is and the people that he knew, and literally like everything they talked about for that little interview in there got captured because the microphone was just right there. It captured everything perfectly. It was great.
Yeah, yeah. And it sounded like you said though. It sounded super crisp.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really impressed by that too. But
There's a lot of other things too.
what else? What other? Yeah, what else? What else we want to talk about though? I wanted to talk to you about what was your favorite experience from the photography standpoint that you had.
Oh man, my favorite photography experience. Actually,
Yeah, while you're out at the track this weekend.
so this is not this is not track related. It's not motorcycle or automotive related, but lately I've been just like trying different things. My history in photography is mostly with cars, bikes, car shows, track days, whatever. And it's a certain like technique, certain lenses, certain settings that you need to have to capture those sort of scenes. But thanks to Chachi, actually, like she's trying to like grow her modeling career, and she's doing really good. I feel like sometimes a budding, like brand new model, you get wrapped up with a lot of bum ass photographers, and they don't really know what they're doing. They're just trying to get like they're just trying to get some shots. I can't hate on everybody.
They don't know how to work. They don't know how to work them angles yet.
You know what I'm saying? Not only the angles, but the angles, the lighting, the the poses. Like as a photographer, you have to go into a situation and kind of know what you want to get, because otherwise the model has no idea. They have no idea what they're gonna do. They just know their poses and know what they want to do. But like as a photographer, if you want a certain type of work, you have to be able to direct and instruct to a certain level. So back to your question, this past weekend was another like kind of growth for me, taking pictures of Chachi, because we went downtown in my parents' hometown, and just like getting her in like a nice flowery summer dress. I got to like change the settings up a little bit and change the lenses out and really find out, what really works. I think I still am like leaps and bounds ahead of other things I've seen. No offense to the other photographers that maybe have shot her in the past, but it didn't take much. You see something in your head, and then you try and apply it to the camera, and if it doesn't come out right, you should change things up, change the scene, change the pose, change whatever, and be vocal about it. Because the model needs to know what you want. So I went out there, and not at the track, but before the track in the hometown, I was just like, hey, go over here, do this, go over here, do this, and it ended up got a lot of good shots. And I think I should apply that same sort of mentality to the track. I can't always tell people, go over here or do this, because they might be getting ready or on the starting line or whatever, but I kind of know what I want to look for now.
So do you like the pose, like portrait kind of stuff more, or do you like candids?
We talked about this already, actually. Like, I do not like studio photography. I despise it to a certain extent. Like the fake poses and whatnot, whether it's at a studio or at a track, like product placement. It has a purpose. Don't get me wrong. I have a business to run, so if it that's a nice apple you got there. I mean, you could use better lighting.
It is.
Apple, but
is it not?
You could have better lighting on the apple, but
thank you for your direction.
But yeah, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. So let's talk about the show.
I think it's true.
Let's talk about the show again. The Chop Shop, man.
Okay.
We've been not working.
All right, let's get into it.
We haven't been working hard. It's not like we've been working hard, but we've been working on something for the new channel. Again, for people at home, Beyond the Apex, we're going to our own new channel. It's not going to be on the gymkhanajosh channel anymore. I'm going to reserve this for just my own personal stuff. Beyond the Apex is going to be its own thing, where other people can contribute and other people have their own shows. And we started a show together called The Chop Shop. I still kind of feel like, this is more of like, it's more of like your direction. Where we go is more on you. It's not our show, it's more of your show, but I've been involved thus far, and I've been having a lot of fun just sitting and chopping it up with you. But talk to the people at home and let them know kind of like what your vision is. Like what do you see what we've done and where you want to go with it?
I think that, like you said, man, it's just us talking, really. Like, we'll come up with topics, the stuff that's either interesting to us or something that's been on our minds for a while, or whatever the case, something that we're curious about even as well. And literally just that, we'll just talk about it, see how it is, see what our bouncing different perspectives off of each other, different ideas, different experiences we've had, maybe in similar aspects of things, and then just get into it like that and seeing what happens. And it's really not to cater to any one crowd or anything like that. It's just kind of more of a broad and generic, yet kind of specific to life kind of thing.
It's
it's
broad
like,
and generic,
we're not talking
specific,
about,
but it's for specific people that have very specific needs.
people, like, what I mean by that is like just people who want people who are like hungry for information or hungry for, you know, just to hear different perspectives, you know, about the same thing. Because if the only people you talk to are the same people about the same things, you know, you're eventually going to stop talking because what are you guys going to talk about? But if you're talking about something, you're like, oh, I heard someone else talk about the same thing in a slightly different way. Like, oh, that was very interesting. I never heard it put like that. And like, maybe that's exactly what they needed to turn a bit of a corner. And that's really kind of like what I see the biggest benefit of it, or would be the coolest part about it, and just how different every time we talk something is. You know, like we don't talk about cameras every day, or we don't talk about bikes every day. We don't talk about car stuff every day. Sometimes we talk about working out and why being fit or anything like that can be relatable to motorsports. So like it all can come back to anything again, like driving. Why would it be beneficial for you to be in some kind of a shape to be a better driver or to be a better rider? How does that correlate to track work? You know, while you're doing body positioning and taking turns and all those kind of things. I'm sure that people do, but one.
It's after the fact. It's when they're in turn 6 and they need to put their chest on the tank and they realize, God, like I could have a whole bunch more space to put my chest down if I didn't have such a big gut right here. You know. No offense to anybody out there that's got a big gut. Just saying.
Dude, if you want to tell me to lose weight, just it hurts. It hurts when you don't do it directly. You know what I mean? Like,
nah, I saw you in the gym the other day, dog. You know, you trying to put in that work too. You know, I'm not.
Oh yeah, of course I need to. You know, yeah, you're my inspiration.
Jeez.
You're my shining star.
You saw my a year ago.
No, I've seen you for years in my mind. Every night, I have a picture of you on my wall. Every time I get dressed in my bathroom, I have a picture of you, and I'm like, that's my inspiration.
I got a brand new.
There. Have you seen that picture of that ice cube? And it's trying to become the ice cube to take down the Titanic.
I got a brand new, like life-size cardboard cutout of myself. I'll get you one. You're the first one I'll send it out to.
Oh, I have two.
Oh, you made one yourself?
Yeah.
Dang, man, you're a super fan. I love you, man.
One of them was by my closet. One of them was by my closet. And so every time I open it and close it, you know.
Do I move with the closet?
It's one of those.
Or is it just there?
Yeah. So it's like half of you is a part of half of the door. And so when I open it up, you know, it's like you're opening up to give me a hug and close it up.
Okay. That's good.
I'm your secret admirer. The secret's out.
Man, I was about to send you a poster.
I promise there's only water in this cup. I promise.
Yeah. So
this is just me. So if you want to see some weird stuff happen, come over to the chop shop because that's what happens.
I noticed you got the Beyond the Apex hat on.
It's just us walking around. Oh yeah. Check it out.
Yo, Preston was the very first person to buy any Beyond the Apex apparel. I put the website up with the little link to like get some t-shirts or hats or whatever, and he's like, click, buy, send now.
Oh, got one immediately. The delivery was fast. The delivery driver was a little.
Yo, you douchebag.
It's a little wild, but. I mean, want me to keep it real? I'm trying to give a real review here. Other than that, though, it was a great handoff. That was great. The driving was
this dude ordered from the site and requested pickup. I'm like, dude, I don't got a shop. I don't got a storefront. I'll see it work.
What'd you want me to do?
I'll see it work.
What'd you want me to do? What'd you what? It was the same thing. Delivery or pickup. What do you want me to do?
That's good stuff.
But everyone should go check it out, though. Check out the site because they got stickers on there. I don't know. You still got stickers on there?
I didn't put them up. I never put them up because I didn't want to flood the Beyond the Apex store with my own CRMP media, vinyl, and whatnot. I didn't want to do all that.
Last time I tried to do marketing for you live. That was too much. That was too much embarrassment for me to handle right there.
It'll probably come. It'll probably be on the horizon because I got to pay off the website.
So be on the lookout.
Yeah,
be on the lookout for the stickers that are coming out. The hats,
Beyond the
they're
Apex
not only
finals.
comfortable, but they're fashionable.
I'll make any finals,
Snapbacks.
I'll do anything.
Yeah.
Gotta pay off that website. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, y'all better mark this time slot, whatever it was, that he said he will do anything to pay off that website. We're talking Eagle spreads. We're talking
I gotta
rides
see
for
what I'm
charity.
sitting on for a
Talking
minute.
about. And it has a Beyond the Apex logo.
In a place that you
Do
have
you
to find out
have
where
what
it's
it
at.
takes to take the helmet off? Do you have what it takes to get the helmet off?
Yo, Fernando Flores, thank you for checking in, man. Appreciate you on the chat. You have YouTube up in front of you, or you just
I don't have it up in front of me right now. No, even if I did, no one knows about me on YouTube. So I think I got zero followers.
Not true.
And
So another topic of conversation is that Preston has a GTR. He's got an R33, beautiful, vinyl wrapped GTR, and he has quite the following because I posted one video of us just like hanging out that one time, and you had people hitting you up like, "Yo, man, you need to post more videos of your car, right?"
That was true. Out of nowhere, too. Out of nowhere, someone hit me up on a completely separate platform. They're like, "Yo, man, I saw your video. You guys should make more stuff. Make more, please, because there's not a lot of the stuff out there. Not a lot of stuff out there that people want to see." So I was like, "Hey, man, well, that's cool, man. It'll keep on coming whenever it comes. It's getting worked on right now. So whenever it gets back up, and in the process of getting it back up, more stuff will come for that."
What actually?
So I'm very excited.
Not to go into too much detail, but what do you have on the horizon for? What are you doing to the GTR?
I'm trying to get it back on the road right now is what I'm trying to do. So I need to go ahead and put my new hubs on because I had a little incident on the turnpike where my lug sheared off and so my wheel flew off while I was the speed limit on the turnpike. So that was interesting. But just fixing all that stuff, I had no body damage. I have no damage to the undercarriage, which is everything was really, really fortunate for. But yeah, getting that stuff back up. Shout out to Sin Garage up in New York that they are going to be hooking it up with installing my new twin plate that I got, and then my ECU, and then getting it tuned up, doing all those things, getting ready to see where I sit at so that I can start making decisions about where we want to go to end it all up. So yeah, not too much stuff going on, but I mean, really with a platform like that, you don't really need to do too much to it to make it enjoyable.
I told you before. So
but then again,
I mean, you don't buy a car that's nicknamed Godzilla and not do Godzilla type stuff to it, And
that is true. But I do got that big body though, so sometimes you want to ride
so you need to do even
slow,
bigger
baby.
modifications to it.
Slow. Whoa! I was going in the opposite direction, but I
just saying you got the big Godzilla, so
yeah,
do some big stuff to it.
No, that is definitely
I'm
not
talking
wrong.
Smack, my car's just sitting
But
dust, so
that is also
I can't talk too much.
That is also true. I continue to try to get you to do it, but
it's coming.
Time will everything. Right now, all I want to see what it's sitting at right now, seeing what the numbers are, and then maintain the reliability of it, and make it more responsive. That's what I'm really after right now. And then after I enjoy that for a little while, then maybe down the line I'll crack up in that bottom end. Maybe stroke it, maybe do something wild to it, maybe do a compound setup to it. I don't know.
One of the things we talked about on one of the episodes that's not released yet, a little teaser, is about like budgeting and finance and like kind of like planning out your builds to match your paycheck or your income. And not to get too much into that, but I think I told you, or I told Chachi actually, that just recently my bus is getting worked on. My track day hauler bus, my fun toy bus. When that's all said and done, like I pretty much have like a budget in mind for what that's going to cost, and even if it goes a little bit above that, I'll be okay. All of my time after the bus is complete is going to be devoted to the GTR. So what I plan is the bus to be finished. I'll use my savings and the money that I have planned for that, and then whatever money that I've earned in the stock market and other immediate investments, I'm just gonna liquidate. I'm just gonna liquidate and do my GTR. The best that I possibly can do.
Gordon Gecko with that stuff. Gordon Gecko with it.
I just gotta go crazy because
I'm excited.
it's a Godzilla, man.
I'm
It's a
excited.
Godzilla.
What is, don't give all the plan away, but what are your 3 things that you're the most excited about? Other than getting it running, what are you most excited about doing?
To the GTR? So I
Yeah.
only just recently even started like thinking or talking to people about it, but honestly, I am gonna go a single turbo setup because I want to go with the higher horsepower options. Twins are great. Twins are fine. Twins are awesome. You know, do your research, people at home. Twin versus single, but if you really want like high numbers and like the biggest like bang for your buck, seat of your pants feel, you got to go with the single turbo, big turbo setup. And I'm gonna get rid of the twins and go with that. That's number 1. Number 2, obviously, to accommodate something like that, you got to have some fuel management, engine management. I'm not gonna go ridiculous with it because it doesn't require like top speed fuel dragster passes at the drag strip. I'm not going for that. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I do want to get higher horsepower and like a really you can't touch me on the street type level, but it's not gonna be like I'm setting world records, so I don't need too much for that. But number 2 is definitely like the fuel system management. Super important for a big turbo setup. You know, I already have the injectors, I already have the wires, I already have the, you know, a lot of supporting mods to make sure that my car is ready to go. And then number 3 would be like, we were in Japan for me 6 years. How long were you in Japan for?
Like 3.5, almost 4.
So we met in Japan. Actually, this is how I know Preston is that we worked together in Japan for a little while, and he had his GTR and I had my GTR, and we kind of like locked on with each other at that point in time. But like number 3 would definitely be like the body work. I'm not really like a body guy, so a lot of money that I put towards the project will probably be towards paying somebody else to do the body work. It's an art. It's a skill that is acquired, and I don't have those skills, and I don't want to spend the time to watch YouTube videos all day to learn that. So I'm just gonna pay somebody that knows how to do it.
I can't wait till you guys want to watch some interesting conversation go on. Wait till we talk about that one. Watching YouTube videos about how to, like all the how-to YouTube videos. That's all I'm gonna say about it. But I can't wait to do that one. It's gonna be so funny on the Chop Shop. So
some of them are
stay tuned.
Super helpful. Some of them are.
Some of them are extremely helpful. Some of them are extremely misleading, and that's it. I'm not even gonna do it anymore. But
what about yours though? Because I mean, we talked about it a couple times, and you kind of alluded to it tonight. But come on, man, you got a Godzilla over there.
Like, what am I most excited for?
Yeah. Well, I know the aesthetic things that you're working on right now, but
that's true.
Maybe let the people at home know.
So those, I'm
Not
trying to
much.
freshen up.
I don't want anybody to bite off your idea, but
I'm just freshening up my front end a little bit, and so, so I got a bunch of stuff that was just super old and dry rotting, and all kinds of nasty stuff like that. So just trying to clean up my front end a little bit, clean up my engine bay, and then whenever I get everything ready. And then I have some the folks over at Sin Garage. They're gonna help me out with a bunch of stuff and do a bunch of work. And we have a collabo going on right now that we're talking about. So whenever that stuff gets closer to the actual date, then we'll go ahead and start dropping those things and start letting people know about where they're at, what they do, what they specialize in, and then obviously the work that they're gonna do on my car, and to see about the before and after stuff, because I am very excited about that. That's gonna be going on in July, and that's definitely gonna be dope. I'm really excited just for everything to be put together, so I could see how it runs, everything meshes together, and then being able to see when I drive at night again. Extremely exciting, because those lights were super dim and those lenses were super terrible. So I am definitely excited about that.
Mine too. Even I switched from the projector headlights 2 regular
Yeah.
incandescent bulbs
Mm.
because
Yeah.
the projectors didn't do anything for the car actually.
Yeah.
What you got planned?
Yeah.
You're gonna be lighting up the road. You're gonna be lighting up a lot of people's lives actually.
I will be electrifying the world around me. I will definitely.
AKA
Hopefully, I'll be able to see.
blinding everybody on the other side of the road.
That's not true because they will be angled correctly. So thank you very much. That's why you get your headlights adjusted. That's what that whole thing is for. Everything's for a reason. Those little screws on the back that do things, and angle things around. That's what they're for.
This actually, this kind of a segue that it just popped into my head. Actually, was about your experience at local meetups and whatnot. Like, how do people receive you at the local car meetups? Because I know you've been out there and you've been active for the past at least a year in New York.
So when I got the car, and I've only been to a handful of meets. Usually, historically, like I haven't been a big kind of meet person. Even when I was riding, I wasn't really into too big meet stuff. Like I'd like to actually ride and go out and do that, and then stop for a little bit, whatever the case, and then keep on going. But so out here, I went to a couple car meets, and the smaller ones, like the chill cruises, like in the middle of the day, or like a cars and coffee kind of thing. Ran into a couple other JDM guys. Like one of them has he's got a Forester from Japan. There was another guy out there, and he had, I forgot what car he had too, but everyone was just so curious about it. Like people are like, oh, what is this? And they see the badge, obviously, and they're like, oh, it's a GTR. Like, oh, what kind of car? What kind is this? Is this a 32 or is this a 33 or whatever it is? And they'll start asking questions like that. And usually people are just more curious about how it got here, how long have I had it for, obviously like how much I paid for it, and like just regular questions like that. And then you'll get like the folks who know about it already.
Hey,
and then they come
drive.
by and you'll
How
hear
do
them.
you go through a drive-through and pick up your McDonald's, man?
Yeah, you gotta go through backwards. That's you just gotta look over.
So you're an expert backer upper. Expert backer upper too.
Don't go through drive-throughs, or you gotta get one of those like trash picker uppers, and you gotta reach through. Your car.
Thank you.
Yeah, just put one by one. Put my burger in their thing, please. Man, but yeah, that a lot of people, everyone trips out about the right-hand drive. Yeah, everyone trips out about the right-hand drive, and like you'll pull up to place and they're like, "Yo, what are you doing on that side of the car and everything?" I'm driving. What else do you want me to do? You want me to drive the passenger seat? I don't know what you want from me. But yeah, I mean the reception has been really good. A lot of people come by, they want to take pictures and stuff. There were some like young teenagers that were at one spot. I think I was just in a parking lot one time. And I think it was actually while I was in Manhattan. I was cruising around Manhattan. We did a Times Square shoot with me and actually Fernando with his Mustang. So we made a little video and everything, did a little photo shoot. We stopped by Times Square. There were some young dudes over there, and they were over here checking it out, and they were, he was like, "Hey, can I get on FaceTime with my friend real quick and show him your car?" And so he got on there and he was showing it off and everything. I was like, "Yo, man, jump in the car. Let me take a video of you in the car and everything. I'll send it to you, send it to your friends, or it's on his phone, and he was like, "No way." I was like, "Yeah, bro, jump in there. Have your girlfriend jump in there too if you guys want to. Hang out, sit down, take some pictures and stuff." And so, I mean, I think it's cool, if you have something that someone's dream is, might as well, if you have the opportunity to kind of let them live a little bit, go ahead and do it if you got the chance to. And might have made that dude's whole weekend. But.
Did you ever have so this is kind of interesting too. Like, did you ever have a bike that was like your dream bike? I feel like the reason I ask this is because I feel like a GTR, it has this certain stigma, or it has like a certain niche or a place in automotive history, and as soon as you roll up to a spot, they see the tail lights, they see the headlights, they see you sit on the right hand side, they're like, "Oh my god, this is the R33 GTR." But even me personally, I can't say I've ever been like that about a bike. When I talk to somebody at the track, or when I talk to somebody in a spot, I know my boy Al with his Ducati. He's got an old school Ducati 996. He actually just brought it to the track too. When you see stuff like that, it's like, oh, that's a really nice bike. That's really cool. But I don't get that same feeling like, oh my god, that's an NSX, or like, oh my god, that's whatever. Do you feel like the same thing happens with bike life as it does with the cars?
I feel like I feel like if you talk to people like that, then you obviously know you're talking to a real bike fan. You know, because I feel like to most people, like all motorcycles look the same. You know, they got two wheels, they got the same kind of aerodynamic kind of look to them. You know, and you got like the Gixxers who do like the angel eye thing, you know, and you have the old or like the Superman blob that they did back in the day and the CBR thing that they did. And then Cowie with how they do their deals, dude. And then you have the super iconic Yamaha look with those demon eyes. But, and then you have obviously all the Euro bikes and everything too that look a certain way. But I feel like for me personally, shoot, man, I mean, I always have that love spot in my mind for the 05 636. Like that was my bike. I love that thing, man. Like I was the best bike I've ridden. I feel like that or the ZX10. I love the ZX10, dude. Like that is something that I've always wanted. And I know Certified Knee Draggers is doing their raffle for that, dude. I'm about to jump in there. Yeah. I know my number already. One of my numbers that I was gonna pick already got taken. Yeah. But I was like, dude, let this be the bike that I get back in with. But I don't know. I really like Triumphs for some reason. Like a Triumph, like a Speed Triple. Okay. Like to me, those things, they look good, man. They sound good. Like in that gunmetal gray, you know, that they can come in sometimes, dude. Like I don't know. See, those things are slick.
Actually, I don't even like that look. Like the goofy eyed, like it's like a half naked bike, but not really a naked bike look. I don't really like that.
I love it. Yeah, I love it.
Interesting.
I love it just because it's so different. Look, yeah, you're right. You know, definitely different looking, and it's kind of like it's like a Street Fighter, but it's not a Street Fighter. And you know, like how Ducati did their thing with their monsters, but it's somewhere in between all that. Kind of like the Cafe Racer meets a straight track bike meets something that's completely naked, you know, and it's like, but then it's got these goofy looking eyeballs. That's like a Transformer kind of deal, you know, or like Wally, when Wally's kind of all jacked up with his little eyeballs. But I don't know, I like them, and I love how they sound too.
Yeah, they sound sweet. Sound really good. Like the 3-cylinder, that style of motor sounds really good.
Yeah.
Yo, so
yeah, like I think it's fun. I've never ridden one. I would love to ride one, but yeah, I just love how they look though. I've only had to been able to really admire them from afar. Also the bobbers though.
Yeah, see, I want kind of a cruiser style too.
So a bobber, immediately I would be like, oh dude, yeah, let me get one of those, definitely. Because bobbers, dude, those things are so clean. They're pretty. They look so smooth, man. I would love to get a hold of one of those.
Yo, give me 1 second here. We're about to do something. Yo, for everybody at home, thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Down below this video, there is a subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button. Subscribe to the channel. There's also a link to the new channel. If you go over to the new channel, pretty soon, I'm not going to be doing Beyond the Apex or any of the other shows on my personal channel. It's all going to be over there. Please go over there, subscribe, so you can check out the new channel and all the new content with Preston, with Chachi, with Kristen, with Butter, with Bills, Justin, with everybody else. We're going to be doing some great things. Right now, we're going to do a 30-second break, and we'll be right back with Preston talking about Beyond the Apex, the Chop Shop, and everything else. Check it out.
Send me to my grave.
Tell you about this little lady in my life.
Send me to my grave.
A free-range relationship. Since neither of us ever really agreed
yes,
but I love her though. And I think she
I
loves
gotta
me.
speak me.
But you know how relationships go. Now check it out now. She started with the promise of perfect peaceful equality, calling me forth with liberty. justice, honor, and honesty. Probably the reason you get sucked by me if you're properly addressing she in my presence. Blind with pride, just live the dream. Made to believe the deviation from her plan would lead to the devastation of a nation. No one around me. How can this be? Actions opposite of what she preach. Tells me be free. Then she goes short is on my leash, and I overlook it. Can't believe that she's crooked. Look at everything she done. Plenty blessings I took from just the thought of it gets me shook. Double cross me, she wouldn't. Couldn't fathom the plots and plans against a man when she cooked. Come on, put it. Know I love you and it's grown since birth. Elementary, learn your pledge. Taught me why you came first. Blood, sweat, and tears drop in the bucket. So much more you're worth. No, you never do me harm, and I'm defending you to dirt. So
Send me to my grave.
come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, baby, yeah.
Send me to my grave.
What? Big bitch gon' be the death of me.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I say yeah. Oh,
I
yeah.
got a big mean woman.
Check it out now, lately she's influenced by power, corruption, money, greed. Funny thing, nothing folks invincible with something she needs. Barely feeds her own seeds, trapped and struggling at home. I know she see me bleed, she disrespect, once more I'm gone. Tap my paycheck, tap my phone, watch what hand with the road I'm on. Once take the bank, she's illegally on. That right there, fucking straw draw. I think bitch, officially on. I ain't giving up till one of us gone. Time for me to make the real point of the song. Hitting them patriot about to be known. Gotta be the oath to the Constitution. Men run you, better watch you doing. Pretty little mo, keep trying to rule. Rights we were born with, we ain't gotta prove them. How you abuse, got shit confused. You work for the people, don't serve you. I'ma say it one more time, better watch you do. Big brother, little boy sees you. Catching out on these game schemes. Capitalist, corporate, federal money machines. Pharmaceuticals companies that talk to genes. Fluoride in the water and food causing disease. Mainstream media dumb us down. Working politicians running into the ground. The one we lost, we don't know where to go. Introduced to a savior, NWO.
Send me to my grave.
Oh no, I don't think so, baby.
Send me to my grave.
What? Big bitch won't be the death of me.
Yes, yes, yeah.
I say yeah. Oh,
I got a big mean woman.
I solemnly affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. So help me.
liberty and justice. Steady losing. Only American dream if you're snoozing. Wake up, we cruising, but who got control? Certainly ain't the people, don't believe that shit no more. Drivers driving reckless, back to reckless. We all getting ejected, and when this happen, man, the whole world gets affected.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Thank you for coming back from this break. This is Beyond the Apex. I'm gymkhanajosh, and tonight we're with my boy Preston. We're talking about a multitude of different things, whether it be cars or bikes or upcoming shows, projects we're working on, everything. So,
Yeah.
Preston, one thing I definitely want to touch on again before we wrap things up too. I think there's more still that I want to talk about as far as the Chop Shop, the new show that we're working on.
Yeah.
The new channel.
Yeah.
What do you see coming up in the near future, or did you have any ideas for like the next conversation, the next talk that we have?
Oh man, and all kinds of stuff, dude. That's my problem though. I got all kinds of stuff that just pops in my head. But I think I know we talked about, like the whole, actually, like one of those things, like the topic of being the smartest person in the room. I know we talked about that one before. I wanted to talk to you about it's all right.
What is this saying? I didn't even look it up.
I don't think you made it better. I think you made it better.
I was like, always
Don't even
be
worry
the
about it.
most
Work it up later.
unprofessional person in the room.
It's like, where did you hear
I
that?
heard it somewhere.
Who
It was
told
a
you
meme
that?
I
Don't take
saw
advice
somewhere.
from this person.
I get all my information from Instagram, so
That might be it. The only place where truth lies. So, I think that I would really want to talk about how, talked about it as well as like motorsports and like when you grow up, and like have a family and everything, how a lot of the times things get pushed to the side because, because you have a family. And I don't think necessarily that has to happen in everyone's situation. Obviously, sometimes, I think that's something that could be interesting to talk about as
I can't
well.
tell you how many times
And
I've seen
also,
posts on this exact topic on Facebook or Instagram or something else like,
yeah,
"Hey, congratulations to me. I have a kid on the way, but I gotta sell the bike, or I gotta get rid of
yeah.
the
Or you
project
see in the
car."
ad, you see the ad and everything, and it's like, yo, like up for sale is, I regret to do this. I never thought the day would come. My bike's up for sale, or my car's up for sale, or my boat's up for sale, whatever the case is, because I am, because I have a kid, or because whatever you want to fill in the
I
blank
mean,
with,
if you're getting
they
a
have to
divorce and
sell
your wife's
that,
taking it
and
all
it's
from
like,
you,
or
then
do you really?
I mean, you can't really say much about that. But I mean,
Or the Tom Arnold's out there, the husband's taking
that
it
could
all
be.
too. But I mean, if something like that happens, and you lose something like that, like, do you really have to give it up, or do you have to be more creative with how you do things, or do you have to plan a little bit better with how you do things?
Not
So I mean, it's one of those things that obviously everyone's situation is different, but I don't know, something that's interesting to
a
me.
lot of people too. I feel like when it comes down to it, they come to this realization that like baby or motorcycle, and well, I'm not gonna say that, baby or let's say project car.
Put that baby on a motorcycle.
Let's just match them up. They, there's always ways. There's always ways to compromise. But not
RWF.
only that, but just like finances. I feel like if people were to try hard enough, if they were
Yeah,
really, really about that life, they would figure out a way. But
yeah,
instead, they are
yeah,
faced with a challenge and they're like, nope, I got to eliminate
yeah.
this from my life because this is too big and I just need to focus on this one thing. No,
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But I feel like there are
No,
ways.
and a lot of it's and like it's a lot of the time it's a fear of the unknown as well. And I feel like a lot of that stuff can be mitigated through planning. If you have a partner that you're going through that stuff with, like communication, supporting each other, all those kind of things as well, which are all other topics that I want to be able to get into, is like the relationship aspect of it. Like, how many people have you seen that either have their relationships are built on that, or the relationships have been broken because of those things as well?
What do you think about oh wow, this is maybe getting too deep into a conversation right now, but what do you think about your significant other getting involved in your hobbies and your personal, projects and whatnot? How how good or bad could that be? Or what do you see about the positives or negatives about that?
I mean, I'm no relationship expert or anything, but I think that if you guys can share that thing, I feel like if you guys, it's just more opportunity for you guys to do something special together, because then it becomes really about you two doing it instead of it being like, hey, we're not going to spend time together this Saturday because I'm going to go off and do whatever. Unless that person has, they can do their own thing and be completely content with doing that for however long they want to do that. And they're not like, well, you got like 3 hours, or like you got like however much time, you got to put a time limit on your fun now because you want them back or whatever the case is. If they can be supportive in that kind of way, and you guys can have those kind of communications and have those kind of understandings with each other, then there shouldn't be any problems. And one thing is, for communication wise, is if you don't have that kind of solid foundation and that kind of understanding where each other are coming from, where you're at, and you guys can respect those kind of boundaries because you are your own person at the end of the day, regardless, then I feel like that could be a beautiful thing. Because especially if you're like, I've never been into motorcycles before, they kind of scare me. But like, now that I've ridden on the back of your bike, will you teach me how to ride? Or you teach me what to do, how to control this stuff? And then they're like, actually, I really like this a lot. And now I want to get my own bike, or like I want to go out to a track day, or I want to go to do a course, and I want to go do that. And you're like, awesome, let's go do it. And then you're all of a sudden you're like, yeah, let's go ride together. And then you guys go out and ride together, and now it's a completely different dynamic.
I could see it kind of going both ways. That's why I bring it up. I think if both people are on the same page and they're at the same level and they're working with each other to do things, it's
Yeah.
one of the most beautiful thing ever. It's like movie magic, like
Yeah.
we can't really fault that. But maybe like there is some point where like one person is going in this direction with it, and then the other person is going in this direction with it, and like you said, like you have to just kind of like make time for each other.
Yeah.
That ends up being kind of, I don't know, more friction for a relationship.
Oh, no doubt. It definitely does. But I feel like it all can come back to that, like I said before, man, like you guys communicating, you guys understanding where you guys want to go with the thing. You know, are you guys really going together, or are you just going and either pulling someone along, or are you letting that create a divide in your guys' relationship? And is that divide something that you're willing to continue to do? You know, is that whatever you fill in the blank with? Is that more important than what you guys have got going on right now?
Hmm.
You know, is that going to cause you guys' breakup? Are you going to be okay with that or not? Like, what it all comes down to the maturity level of that person, and then you know, I don't know, the foresight in that relationship as well. Like, where do you really want to
That's
go?
interesting. That's a good way to put it, actually. And I don't
Yeah,
think anybody could ever really know right from the get go either. You know, like even a hobby like
yeah,
motorcycle riding or motorsports. You know, maybe it starts off as something simple, like I just like to drive my car at autocross events, and then it's like, oh my god,
yeah,
I'm getting attention because I'm good. I want to go to Nebraska and do an
right,
autocross event. Well, my significant other can't go to Nebraska. What happens at that point? Do you just say like, okay, see ya, I'm going to Nebraska, I got to go do this thing,
yeah,
or do
yeah.
you like, I can't go to Nebraska because you know my partner, my other half, they can't go, so I got to reschedule or figure out something else.
So, what do you think? How do you think what is your opinion on attending events without significant
I don't
others?
I don't have an answer for it, honestly. Like, I'm I'm not the one that has all the answers to all these sort of things, but I have felt in the past a certain way about things, and even now, actually, like me and Chachi, not to put all of our business out there, but like, she has her own thing going on, so I'm not gonna be like stepping
Yeah,
on her toes. I'm not gonna like hold her back from doing her thing, but I know that there comes a certain point where if you're too busy to even like sit down and like have a talk with me, or like go out with me, or a date night every once in a while or something like that, then obviously it's gonna drive a wedge into something, you know. But I feel
yeah,
like if we're on the same page, me specifically with us, if we're on the same page, which we are, then it's beautiful because we can work together and we can do things together. One thing that I've kind of like shied away from in the past, truth be told, personal talk, I've shied away from letting people that I hold personal relationships with get too in depth with my business, because
mm,
there's that old saying, you don't mix business and pleasure, and
yeah,
there is some friction there, there is some conflict there, but I do see a benefit to it too, because a lot of the things that she's involved with and a lot of things that I'm involved with, they can mesh together, they can coincide. I can help support her, she can help support me, we can kind of work together and make things better.
yeah,
And until there is that point where it's like, man, I don't even spend time with her, or the only thing we talk about is Beyond the Apex or Wool Moto or whatever, then I don't
yeah,
really have an issue with it. But I'm just like consciously in the back of my, not subconsciously in the back of my head, that's always something I think about, is like, I don't want it to get to that point. I don't want it to get to the point where it's just business.
yeah,
Same thing with you.
yeah,
Same thing with you too. I mean, we sit and we talk and we BS and we are men and talk about life together. If it ever were to come to a point where like we're only talking about business for business and it's not even just us
mhm,
just enjoying each other's company and conversation anymore, I'd probably just take a
yeah,
back seat at that point. I'd be like, you know what, I'm done with this. I'll go on to something else or
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, and I feel like that's when, if you have a like that strong base as a friendship, if those things make it a little bit easier, because even though we talk about, we either talk about car stuff, we talk about bike stuff, we either talk about, food reviews or wherever we've done or whatever the case is, we talk about camera stuff or whatever the case is. Like we can do any of those things though, just completely for fun and for pleasure. And it would bleed over a little bit, obviously, because that's what we talk about for the show. I mean, but in real life, though, we talk about so many other things that we never will capture on the camera, like ever, that will ever be captured on the camera.
Thank
And
goodness.
I mean, I mean, yeah, bro, because people would definitely never watch the show again after, especially when I show up in Preston.
Yo. Not only that, but they just talked for like 10 minutes about the snappy thing before the movie starts. Like we just talked for 8 minutes about that. So
Yeah.
look out for that, folks. 'Cause that's coming.
I mean, yeah. Some things, and like I said before, like I feel like that's where like the friendship thing comes from, because sometimes we'll just go back and forth in even like made up scenarios, or we're like running a joke all the way to the ground, and then we think it's already way done, and then we crack into like that Ice Age hidden world rainforest that's down there, and we have to go through that ground too with the joke again. We just keep it going.
You just took it to another level right now. What the hell are you talking about? Ice Age rainforest. You trying to take people on a ride?
You know what I'm talking about? Have you never seen that?
What?
Have you never seen that Ice Age?
No.
When the Earth cracks open, they find like a whole rainforest in the center of the Earth.
No, I've never seen the Ice Age.
Get me off. Get this thing.
I was born.
Get me off of this.
I was born in the 80s.
Oh, I was born in the 80s. Yeah, I was watching Gremlins and stuff like that.
Yes.
And I wasn't watching.
Let's talk about Gremlins. Yeah. That's the next
We
topic.
can talk about Gremlins, man. We can talk about Leprechaun. We can talk about all the stuff, dude. We can talk about it all. Pet Cemetery. All of it.
That's coming up on the Chop Shop.
That will come up on the Chop Shop. We'll leave that for that. We'll talk about movies. We'll talk about movie reviews. We'll talk about our favorite, the worst movies that came out.
Next
man, I'll tell you what.
Conversation is me to talk about how there hasn't been any motorcycle movies for the last decade since Biker Boys.
What are you talking about, man? You seen Torque?
Yeah, that was like a decade ago. I was working at Blockbuster at the time. That was over a decade. That was over a decade ago. Yeah, I was working at Blockbuster Video when that movie came out.
You now qualified for your senior citizen discount with that comment right there, fella. Because that right there was ridiculous. Over here talking about I was of legal working age in the United States when this came out at Blockbuster, son.
I referred
oh my gosh! And you've already climbed the rungs as well at Blockbuster when that came out. So you've been working for 3 decades, son. Oh.
That's how old Josh is.
Mama and Daddy. I'm sorry, I'm not dissing on you, but you obviously got some good genetics though, because a man don't look like he's been working at Blockbuster when Torque came out.
Yep, worked for a couple of years too, actually. It wasn't just a fly-by-night either.
I wasn't just a delivery guy either. Oh man, he's like, I was on the payroll, son.
I wrote the payroll, son.
They wouldn't even do an hourly anymore for
payroll.
Me. I was doing salary.
Lord.
I was a salary employee at Blockbuster.
Lord have mercy. Yeah, but seriously though, we've already gone over time. But what was the last motorcycle or motorsport movie that you saw? Aside from don't say Fast and Furious, please. But what was the last like motorcycle or motorsport movie that you saw?
I think the last like newish one to me was Need for Speed that I watched.
Need for Speed?
Other than
Dude,
they made a Need for Speed. No, I don't think it was that long ago. The dude from Breaking Bad, Jesse?
Yeah.
I don't know. Look it up. I don't know when it came out. But that was one of the last ones that I saw. I just rewatched with Chris Helmsworth the Formula One drivers. There's a legendary rivalry between these two Formula One drivers. One of the dudes, I think he's either an American. The other dude's a French dude.
Is this a Sylvester Stallone movie?
What are you talking about, dude? I'm not talking about Rambo, you weirdo.
He was
just
in
he rode a motorcycle
Formula
in
One
Rambo.
movie.
Just because he rode a motorcycle in Rambo
doesn't. I
doesn't.
worked at Blockbuster at the time this came out too. Thank you. So.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, creator of Rotten Tomatoes. Jeez.
2014 Need for Speed came out. The movie.
Okay, so then there you go. 7 years ago. It's not a decade yet.
It's almost.
It's
getting up there. It's getting up there.
But yeah, I forget what that movie's called though. But it was about these Formula One racers, and they had their little rivalry go on. One of the dudes gets a pretty bad wreck, and he gets like a really bad burn, and he finally gets back in and starts racing again. But it shows like their intense rivalry that they had going on, but then also the support that they had for each other as well, because they were that good, that they made each other better. I thought that was cool too because it went beyond the apex of racing, and showed their like the personal dynamic too between the racers. I thought that was pretty cool.
The movie's called Driven, by the way. The one with Sylvester Stallone, where he's a Formula One driver. Everybody at home needs to look it up. It's an amazing movie. It's not really amazing, but it's a movie.
What's the last one that you watched?
What's up?
What's the last one that you watched?
No, this is more of a like, damn, I haven't seen one in a long time type comment. It's not like I have recently seen one. I can't even remember the last time. Like I said, I don't count Fast and Furious because that has gotten way away from, neon lights and Honda Civics and racing at Speed Wars. It's been anti-terrorism, fighting aliens from coming to the United States type stuff. Like, it's not the same movie anymore. They're getting way off topic here. I would be cool with watching 9 movies of guys hanging out in parking garages and racing, doing drift style. That's cool with me. I don't need anti-terrorism, guns, and action and all that other stuff for Fast and Furious. But that's just me. They're good. They're good movies.
Yeah,
in their own respect.
I will always watch those movies. I will, absolutely. But like you said, though, I would love it if they came back to their roots and was like, these are the cars that we're turning wrenches on. Like, we have our garages or whatever the case is. We're doing this, we're doing that. And then we go out to either car meets, we go out to car shows or tracks or whatever the case is. They do stunting, they do drifting, they do autocross stuff. They make those things happen. But then I feel like that kind of, like the drama, that they need for them conquering evil and doing whatever. They're fighting for their family and all those kind of things. And their big antagonists would all go away. And
I'm cool with that.
Yeah, some people would be cool with that, but I feel like obviously from a business perspective, they're not like, yeah, y'all ain't paying us enough money for us to be making stuff that you really
need.
We need cars jumping through buildings, son. We need hypercars jumping through buildings in Dubai. And we need cars over here with 33-inch travel jumping through out of C-130s.
So that's another thing too.
And we need them parachuting in. And then armored trucks with auto turrets. We need all those things.
Every time I see some stuff like that in a car movie, I'm like, nope, not possible. Couldn't happen. A Camaro does not have that big of a gap underneath the wheels, or the underbody to the ground. Not possible. Couldn't do it. Couldn't jump that. Couldn't turn that. Whatever. Movie magic. I hate that stuff. The original Fast and Furious, though, was like, I can put neons on my Civic. I liked it.
I could do that.
Yeah.
I could do that. Same thing with, there was a couple of ones too that got into it. I mean, like Tokyo Drift, right? Like that one was another, like so many people hate that movie. They're like, man, Tokyo Drift. What? I thought it was great. I thought it was cool because it was exactly that, though. It was the car scene, which we've seen, and they're not all a bunch of people around with mini skirts and all that kind of stuff. But there are people out there that are passionate about what they do. Don't tell people what you wear to the car meets all the time, or else they're not going to. I do wear Lululemon when I go out to these things sometimes, though. So if you want to see some of that, by all means. But when they're talking about doing the crazy swaps, and they're talking about troubleshooting things because their cars aren't performing right, and they're like, how to perfect their craft, in an open parking lot, whatever the case is, and going to do the race, and that stuff is translatable. Maybe they're not doing it against, a gangster's nephew, but they're, they're doing it nonetheless, though. They're doing the same things. They have the group of friends. They're tuning things themselves. They're not, they're going over, they're turning their own wrenches. They're changing out their own tires. They're doing all those other kind of things that, young folks who are getting into it and older folks who are getting into it, they do those things. They feel all those things. They're not like getting the most ridiculous car in the world dropped out of an airplane or getting a yacht that can also, getting a yacht that can also double as a plane, that can also drive on the land as well. Like, you're not driving the Batmobile anymore. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I spend a lot of time. Like designing and just like putting together my skirts that I wear to all these car meets. So I'm kind of offended about your previous comment, but I'm still gonna do it because I want to keep the culture alive, and that's how I do it.
I'm more offended I'm more offended that you don't have those up for sale on the Beyond the Apex store yet.
Ain't nobody jacking my style.
So, I mean, it's not jacking your style. It's really just, it's called a compliment,
I'm
son.
not selling out either.
Oh, well, okay then. I can't wait for someone to
I'm
snap
just
one of those pictures of you.
BeyondTheApexStore.com.
Swirling
Get
around.
all my skirts.
We're not talking about side skirts either, baby. We're talking about those pencil skirts. Do you have this still? Do you still have the little frilly one with all the helmets on it? The one that twirls when
I
you.
added some LED lights actually, so it's not exactly the same. But I mean, teaser alert, you know.
Spoiler.
Yep. Next time I come out with it, got the LED lights and they flash.
I like that.
I flash too.
Hopefully, yeah. Well, that's a different topic. We'll go there later on.
Yeah.
But that might be a chop shop episode where things might get a little bit explicit. That might be the late night talk show.
Yeah.
When we have the after dark chop shop.
I like that idea. Speaking of which.
Don't tell me how much you like that idea.
I like all these ideas. I like anything at this point. Let's just go with it. Let's just run with it.
Oh.
Speaking of which, though,
What are you about though? What else do you want to hear about? What else are you excited about for the chop shop?
You know what, man? Honestly, like when so Preston actually first kind of talked to me when we started. Man, how do I put this? Long story short, Preston was actually interested in doing a podcast. He wanted to do a podcast called
Something Clever.
Which he did start doing. He started working on, and at the same
It's still
time,
going. We're getting episodes out there.
yeah. So I at the same time though, he inspired me to kind of like change up the flow a little bit, and I wanted to expand beyond the Apex. I didn't want to just do one single live show every Tuesday. It's not that it was. I just wanted to expand. There's other people that have things to talk about, and I feel like the format that we have here is good, but there's more to talk about. There's more to interact with. There's more to share with the audience at home. And when he started talking about his podcast, he inspired me to kind of like think about other things that I could do to make the channel better, to make the show better. What that translated to me was like something that I was thinking about for a while. You know, I was talking to you actually, Preston, about creating the new channel. It was just at that point when you finally brought me the idea about you doing a podcast, I was like, you know what? How about I just create a whole new channel where you can just have your podcast on my channel? You know, I would love to have your content on Beyond the Apex. So like, you can come to the channel and you can see Butter and Josh interview people every week about motorcycle shops and groups and track days and things like that. You can come to our same channel, you know, every once a month and listen to Chachi and Kristen talk to women empowerment about how women are riding and how they're getting involved in the community and how they're actually kind of like taking over the community. You know, Bill's with his news, he can put his stuff on the channel and you can come there and learn about what the police are doing, what the, you know, national stage looks like as far as like riding awareness is concerned. You know, there's so many different opportunities with having a more wide channel, like a bigger platform, I guess. So what I am excited about for the Chop Shop and our interactions and the new channel is that I feel like it's just going to be a lot more information for a wider audience. It's not going to be just, you know, just log in every Tuesday to see Josh and Butter talk to somebody. It's not going to be just that. Sure. It's going to be something else, you know. Maybe people that are watching right now or people that are watching in the future, they're not interested in what we have to talk about. Maybe they just want to go listen to Chachi and Kristen. Maybe they just want to get the quick news and then be done with it and go about their daily lives. You know, there's other things that I want to expand to as well. There's other things that I want to get involved with. You said you'd be down to take the audio, like rip the audio from our conversations and like put it on Spotify. Yeah. I would love that too, because I've had people come up to me at meets and be like, hey man, like I love watching your show every Tuesday, but every time I close the YouTube app, it cuts off the audio and I'm just listening while I wash dishes. Well, you know what? Let's have some Spotify plans so that you can just hear what's going on. Honestly,
Yeah.
sometimes we have video technical difficulties anyway, so it'd be nice to just
Right.
maybe somebody just listen and they don't even realize something like that's going on. So I'm
Yeah,
excited
and
about
it's
that.
just easy too, man. Yeah, it's easy too, because then you can have people like even while they're riding, while they're out doing that, and then all of a sudden they can just throw it on, throw the playlist on, and they can hear about whatever is going to be going on, whatever they choose for however long that they choose to. And it's just another avenue to be able to give people a different way to listen to, what we're putting out there.
Yeah. Motorcycle content, life content, motorsport content. So that's another thing too, is that I'm excited to kind of in my ad that I put out for Beyond the Apex, like the new channel, I mentioned that I want to get back to my roots. I want to get back to doing more automotive content because I mean at my heart, my roots, I'm an automotive guy. I went to automotive school. I worked in the auto industry for 10 years. I learned
Yeah.
about cars. I know cars. I know car meets. I've been to car shows. I've been to the sponsor. I know the sponsorship game in cars. The motorcycle thing is something that's more recent in my life.
Yeah.
8 years out of 20 or plus. 8 years of that has been motorcycles, or maybe a little bit more than that. But even still,
Yeah.
I know cars. I want to get more involved with my car content. You were on the show with Jade and JD and BJ and Phil. Those are my peoples. Those are my boys from Virginia.
Yeah.
We had a car crew together back in the day. I really want to get more content from them because each one of those guys is a character, like each one of them
Yeah.
has their own lives, their own things they go through, and each project that they build and things that they're involved with. I want to expose that too because they're interesting people, and I feel like they deserve some publicity. So maybe through my platform, through something that I'm working on, I can support that too. That's what I'm excited
Yeah.
about. It's just expand.
I would really love to see when you get the GTR back up and running and everything, and we can start messing around and do another photo shoot with it. I would love to be able to take a road trip down to their shop and be able to go see what we can get done by them, and then make a whole thing along the way. We can document the whole thing. We can do the video thing. We can do obviously a bunch of photo stuff since we both doing that, and then obviously blow that up around everybody,
Yeah.
and we can make a date for it. We can make a live traveler, so that everyone who wants to tune in can have the opportunity to like meet along the way or whatever the case is, if something like that was able to be done. So
Speaking of GCR stuff, I think I told you were talking about tuning your car. I told you about them doing GTRs there at their shop. Like that's one of the specialties they have done there at their shop.
Yeah.
Not them specifically, but they have outsourced work from other shops to come use their dyno and tune a lot of GTRs. So I see pictures from Jade. He posts up in the shop where like he's got a new R32 or R30, mostly R32s in the shop a lot, or in brand new. It's either like R32s or like brand new GTRs in the shop all the time. So like they're familiar. It's not that they're like new to the game. They just honestly, if Jade, if JD, if BJ, if Scotty, if Phil are watching tonight, I want your video content, brothers. I want to put your stuff up on my channel, but it's kind of hard. I'm not gonna hate on them too hard because they got to do the recordings themselves and then send them to me. I'm not there, so I can't really do it myself. So I'm trying to work that out though.
Yeah, no, and I think that we definitely could, man. I think it'd be definitely fun for us to cruise around together again with both the Skylines, and then take them down there, and then Virginia, you got people in Virginia. It could be a whole thing.
Rob,
and
he's in Maryland. We'll call him up here. We'll go cruise around, just do it Okie style.
Yeah, man, that'll definitely be dope. Rob's car.
I'll still smoke all of
definitely
you. I'll still smoke all of you.
Red.
But what were you about to say? Continue what you were about to say before I said that I was gonna smoke both of you.
I thought I was just looking for your mind real quick. I thought you lost. I was just saying, Rob's car, man. He really got me into the whole like, I need to take this car seriously and take it. Like, his car was just so beautiful, man, that it inspired me on every level to get in the game. Because from his engine bay to his roll cage to his interior work to how his car handled, like everything was just so dialed in that I loved it, man. And we definitely got to link up with him again.
True. Do you got any like parting words for the people at home? Any like shout outs or anything you want to say to the people at home?
Shoot, stay tuned. It's only going to get better from here. And the Chop Shop, man, is going to be like nothing else. It's definitely going to be fun. It's going to be dynamic. You will definitely see our personalities come out a little bit more. And I think it's going to be really fun because you really never know what's going to be happening in the Chop Shop and then what's going to be talked about. So that's going to be fun. Shout outs, man. I mean, shout out to you, obviously, bro. I mean, you putting this whole thing on. Your vision is every day coming closer to that final project that you got in your mind, even though maybe you don't see it because you're so close to it, man. But it is awesome to see everything unfolding how it is right now. And I'm just really excited to be a part of it, excited to see where it goes to. Shout out to everyone who wants to support, man, in any kind of way, everyone who checks it out, everyone who tells someone else about it, man. Like, thank you guys as well, because without you guys, I mean, it's just us just fooling, which is cool too, but it's also cool to know that we made any kind of an impact or gave you something that was worth talking about for someone in a positive way. That's really what I'm excited about, though. But until next time, man, we'll see you guys, and then we'll see you on the Chop Shop too, though.
Actually, you put it really well right there. That was really perfect. Wow. Thank you, Preston. And like he said, thank you to anybody that's been watching, that's been supporting, because we do appreciate it. And the people that subscribe and keep coming back, they kind of drive what we do. It's not that I'm not catering to any specific audience, but I do want to make sure that people that tune in on a regular basis see what they want to see. You know, it helps out to get feedback and hear those things. So thanks for everybody at home. And with that, please, at the bottom of this video, you'll see a subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell notification icon. Come back. We do this every Tuesday live, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Beyond the Apex. Pretty soon. I'm not going to say an exact date, but very soon. It's not going to be on the gymkhanajosh channel anymore. It's going to be on the Beyond the Apex channel. So also below the video, there's a link to the new channel. Go over there. Hit the subscribe button there, because you're going to catch Preston, you're going to catch Chachi, you're going to catch Kristen, you're going to catch Butter, you're going to catch Bills, you're going to catch a couple other people that have worked on some things for the new channel. And it's all going to be good stuff. Motorcycle, moto content. Other than that, as I always say, leave this world better than you found it. Peace.
Send me to my grave.
Let me tell you about this little lady in my life.
Send me
I guess
to
you could
my
call it a free-arranged
grave.
relationship, since neither of us ever really agreed on it
Yes,
to my knowledge.
yes, yes.
But I love her though, and I think she
I
loves
gotta
me.
speak me.